we mentioned last night, Cavs win. There was about 4 or 5 March Madness feel buzzer beaters last night in college hoops. It was awesome. And we got the national title game coming up Monday. We've got NFL playoffs coming up Saturday and Sunday. And without any further ado, we bring in our handicapping guru. It's Ross the Boss, Ross Benjamin from WagerTalk.com, joining us here on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN. Ross, happy Thursday. Let's go Buffalo. How you doing this afternoon? Not there.
I see him talking, but I can't hear him.
Boy, we are on a...
All right, can you hear me now?
Hear him now.
There we go.
Now you're coming
Sorry
through.
about that, guys. You know, it works better when you don't hit the mute button, so... Anyway. Yeah, some days are more challenging than others, Sam.
Oh, Ross, we know. Welcome to the show. How you doing today, pal?
I'm cold, man. It's cold here too. Western New York, pretty similar to what you're experiencing there in the Canton area. So
yeah,
it's cold, but you know what? It's warm inside, and it's going to be warm this weekend inside when we watch a little bit of NFL playoffs in Monday night when the college football national championship game takes place.
Yeah, boy, the football games are the list is getting smaller and smaller. So you know what that means. Trying to time to crown a couple of champions here real soon. Ross, I'm gonna flip the coin, and if it comes down heads or tails, do you want to go national championship first, or do you want to talk NFL? Up to you.
We'll go with the NFL.
Okay.
Either way, Sam, I'm good. I'm flexible.
We'll go NFL since the college game's on Monday night. How about that?
Yeah.
We'll go that way. All right. Hey, I told you about those Buffalo Bills. I think you're in good shape, Ross. They pulled another one out. Did you survive that one okay?
Yeah, it took about 2 or 3 years off of my life.
Oh, no.
But it was well worth it, in the long haul. Yeah, I think they're in a similar situation this week as we discussed on air last week. I mean, You're looking at a number 6 seed in Buffalo. The odds makers opened this game as a pick 'em. Buffalo went to a favorite, and then, there's been some well-chronicled injury reports coming out of Buffalo that swayed the bettors to or the odds makers to move this line to them being a 1.5-point favorite, Denver. But you got the number 1 seed as opening as a pick 'em, and this is a team that is off a bye week, and then you got another team that had a play last week in Buffalo, and I'm sure you watched that game, Sam. Not only Buffalo won, but they took a physical toll on whoever was going to come out of that game, because that was an extremely physical game. Yet you look at the line here and you scratch your head a little bit. And again, I mentioned it last week. I'm mentioning it again. Josh Allen is just a beast in the postseason. I mean, look, Buffalo with Josh Allen is 8-1 in the playoffs against all teams not named since Kansas City. Their lone loss came against Cincinnati in the divisional round a couple years back with Joe Burrow. But this isn't Cincinnati with Joe Burrow. This is Denver with Bo Nix. And let's stop and think about this, Sam. If the odds makers are telling you this is going to be an even game, a close game based on the line here, who would you rather have? I know Bo Nix has had a lot of comebacks this year in the fourth quarter, but at this time of year, with this high a magnitude of game, who would you rather have as your quarterback in the fourth quarter in a close game? Josh Allen or Bo Nix?
Yeah, it's not even for debate. And I think, Ross, and this is why I told you last week, I got Buffalo and the Rams in the Super Bowl. I love Buffalo here because the path, okay, no Mahomes, no Lamar,
right?
But the fact that they're coming out of the wild card. Yeah, there's always going to be pressure on Buffalo, but it's a little lighter this year. And I just think the path is clear. And look, Denver's the number one seed. The old Invesco at Mile High, the Mile High Magic, the altitude, this, that, and the other. Ross, I'm jumping over myself to get to the window to bet Buffalo this weekend. I mean, and I'm not even.
I hope you're right, Sam. I hope you're right. I hope I'm right. And you also think about the fact Denver 8-1 at home, strong home field, right? But who was their only loss against at home? The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yep.
So, look, I don't know who the better team is with the eye test, but I can care less about the eye test at this point. Buffalo's been in a lot of big games over the years. This may be their weakest bunch in recent years, but because of what you just alluded to, who's out of the playoffs as compared to who's in, you got to like their chances.
And I do. Denver -1.5. I love the Bills. Any lean on a total? It's about right where I thought it might be. 45 and a hook. Any thoughts on the total?
I don't have any strong opinion on the total. Again, you're looking at the Denver defense is really good. And I think what gets lost in the shuffle is Buffalo's defense is much maligned. They get a lot of criticism, but down the stretch, they've been pretty good. The last 5 games, they're only allowing 19 points per contest and 270 yards a game. So if I had a lean, and it's a very small one, I would lean under the total in this one.
Ross Benjamin is our guest. Check him out, wagertalk.com. We'll be putting all of the information for you up on our screen as far as the Weekend Warrior package and the direct line to get to Ross to get all of his fantastic picks. So that's the 4:30 game on Saturday. The 8 o'clock game, the Seattle Seahawks at home against San Francisco. Seattle laying 7. Same total here, Ross, 45.5. Break this one down. Niners and Hawks up in the Emerald City.
Yeah, I mean, I break it down in its simplest form. It's just at this particular moment in time, Seattle's a better team on both sides of the ball, in my opinion. And you can go back to the regular season finale just 2 weeks ago where San Francisco had an opportunity at home. If they won against Seattle, they were going to be the number 1 seed. Well, that didn't happen. Not only didn't it happen, but Seattle shut them down completely from an offensive standpoint as they won that game, Seattle 13-3, and they outgained them by a large amount. So I don't see much change in here. And, I know Seattle has lost 2 games at home this year. One of them was in their season opener against San Fran. But now you're talking about when was the last time Seattle hosted a playoff home game? It's been a couple of years, I think. But when you get into a playoff atmosphere in Seattle and you're a road team, it's one of the loudest stadiums in all of football. I know a lot of people have that claim, or a lot of teams have that claim, but it's true. Seattle's one of the loudest environments in all the NFL, especially at postseason time. Becomes a little harder to communicate in those types of situations. And San Francisco, still, I think this is where the injuries catch up to them.
Yeah.
The key personnel that's been out. And, I think that Shanahan's probably done one of his better jobs to get this team to this point. But I don't think it's going to be enough in this one. I like Seattle here, lay the points.
I think I do too. Of course, Kittle's out with the Achilles. That he's a huge target. He's going to be missed. Ricky Pearsall questionable with the knee. I think Seattle at home, Ross. I mean, what a place!
As long as McCaffrey doesn't go off, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and he could, but
yeah,
he's Christian McCaffrey. He's worth the price for admission. He really is.
No doubt.
So, Ross got the Seattle going to lay the 7 against San Francisco. You're on the Sam Bourquin Show, AM 1310 WDPN. Ross Benjamin joining us from Wager Talk, and I'll have Rainsburg throw that graphic up on the screen. And Ross, you can talk us through those that are listening through the radio airwaves and on their phones and what have you. Weekend Warrior package. We're getting down to a precious few here. Tell us how the folks can get involved to get the great picks from Ross Benjamin.
Well, $49 will get you all my premium picks on Saturday and Sunday, which includes the NFL playoffs, It also includes the NBA and college basketball, and it also includes the NHL, which I released my first NHL pick last night on the Ottawa Senators minus 110 on the money line, and they crushed the Rangers 8-4. So you get all those premium picks, including any 5% best bet I put out, and that's just for $49. Also, folks, for $20 more, $69, 7-day all-access pass. And what better time to purchase that than right now? NBA, college basketball, NFL playoffs, Monday night, college football national championship game, NHL, all that for $69. Normally $99, marked down to $69. Sam, if my math is correct, that's less than $10 per day. WT.buzz/RB, just like you see on the screen.
Let's get it. WT.buzz/RB. And also take advantage of that weekend warrior package. Ross Benjamin, our guy from wagertalk.com. All right, let's slide over to Sunday. Another doubleheader, 3 and 6:30, the kickoff times here. The Houston Texans at New England. The Patriots minus 3.5. The total, 40.5. Does New England keep it going?
I went back and forth with this one several times, and this is a really intriguing matchup. You got a New England team that's an up-and-comer. You got a Houston team that's won 10 in a row. Both defenses playing at a high level right now. You had New England win 16-3 last week. You had Houston 30-6. Both teams shut down the opposition completely defensively. And you're looking at a total here of 41.5. It's now down to 40.5, I should say. So I just can't see how this game in a cold weather environment doesn't play on the low side of the number. I just think both of these defenses are too good. And I think we're going to see a 19-16 type of game or a 17-13 type game. So don't have a strong opinion on the side as of yet. I'm going to hold off on this probably till Saturday night. But I do have an opinion here on the total here. I like this game to go under 40.5. By NFL modern day standards, it's a very low total. But having said that, it's that low for a reason, Sam.
You better believe it. It is there for a reason. Ross Benjamin, wagertalk.com. He's got that guy under 40.5 with the Texans and the Patriots. That's 3:00 on Sunday afternoon. Sunday evening, boy, it's going to be cold in Chicago again. The Rams and the Bears, 6:30. LA laying 4. Ross, the total is approaching 49. It's at 48.5 right now. What say you on the Bears and the Rams in the Windy City?
Yeah, and on a nice night with clear weather and not below freezing temperatures like we're going to experience on Sunday night, or they're going to experience, I would have loved this game to go over the total because I think both offenses are that capable. In neither the Rams defense, look, they've been good on paper if you look at their raw data right now, but down the stretch they weren't very good. And Chicago's got away with a lot because of their ability to turn teams over. Having said all that, I'm going to sound like I'm contradicting myself, and that's just what I do in this business, and it works awfully well.
Yes,
I know that doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but Sam knows. In any event, you say it's up to 48.5 to 49. It opened at 51. So there's a reason why that's come down. A lot of it's weather related. But I think this one, you got the Rams' explosive offense now having to play in those type of conditions, weather-wise, meaning how cold it is. Warm weather team on the East Coast in a primetime matchup. I just think that they're going to have a hard time moving the ball as frequently as successfully as they've been doing this season. And I think the Bears will fall under the same category. I think you're going to see a Chicago team that's going to try to run the ball, control the clock, and keep that Rams offense off the field. And they've done it pretty well this year for the most part. So I'm going to go under.
All right, Ross going to go under there, under 48.5 with the Rams and Bears. Just looked it up on the weather app here. High of 16 on Saturday. This game is not going to be played during the day. It's going to be at night.
Yeah, and 12-mile-per-hour winds. I mean, me and you both know, living in cold weather environments, when the wind is 12 miles an hour and the temperature's in the teens, that means the wind chill makes it feel like a hell of a lot colder than it really is. So,
Right.
and 16 is cold, folks.
Oh, it's freezing. And then Saturday night, it's going to be 8. Couple that with the wind, that's going to be miserable. But that place will be packed. It'll be rocking. But I would tend to go under on that one as well. Ross Benjamin is our guest. He is with us each and every Thursday here on the show, 1310 WDPN. Ross Benjamin, wagertalk.com. Get right to him. Get those picks right now. Jot this down. WT.buzz/RB. WT.buzz/RB. All right, Ross, we've only had to wait 15 years for this college football championship game to be played, and it's finally going to arrive Monday night, if people remember about it, because I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. I'm interested to get your thoughts. The Hoosiers in the Canes at Hard Rock Monday night, 8.5. Miami getting now at home. It opened up at 5.5. It went to 7.5. I've seen some 8s, 8.5. Hoosiers, Canes, Ross, break it down. Monday night, what do you got?
Well, you said at home, and it's the first time that any team is going to be able to host a national championship game like Miami is. Now, having said that, let's not get carried away with Miami playing at home because they're designated as the visitors in this matchup. They're going to be in the visiting locker room. Other than familiarity in the surroundings they're playing in, I don't see much of an edge for playing at home. Let's stop and think about this, Sam. National championship game ticket sales usually sell out well in advance of when we know who's going to be playing.
Right.
Then they allot each school an amount of season tickets. So I don't think it's going to be that much. As a matter of fact, from what I'm gathering, Indiana has had a huge request for tickets, and people spending $3,000-$4,000 on the Indiana side for tickets for this game with ticket brokers. So again, let's wipe out that whole thing with the home field. I think if there is any edge with Miami, I can't put a number on it, but it's going to be the very slightest of margins. Now, with all that being said, look, this is a Miami team, 15 games this year. They played 13-2 to the under against the first half total. And those games averaged 20 points per game. And 6-0 to the under if they're facing teams like Indiana who allow 120 yards or less on the ground per game. Indiana, by the way, folks, 75 yards per game on the ground. And they've gone under the total, or I should say there are 3 playoff games, first half combined total of 14.6 points scored per game. Now, Indiana, 5-1 under the first half total this year on the road or at neutral sites when facing a team like Miami that averages 31 points or more per game. And this is an Indiana team that's allowed a combined 7 points in the first half in their first two playoff games against some pretty good offensive teams in Alabama and Oregon. Miami, on the other hand, they've allowed a combined 13 points in their 3 playoff games in first half action. And I'm going to go with under the first half total of 23.5.
Under the first half total of 23.5, the Hoosiers and the Canes Monday night down in Miami. Ross Benjamin, our guest here from wagertalk.com on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN. You mentioned the ticket prices, Ross. The get-in tickets right now are $3,500, $3,800. Parking is going for $600 and $700 a car if you want to park close to the stadium. I mean, jeez Louise.
If you know anything about South Florida,
yeah.
I lived there for 8 years, and it is the scam artist capital of the United States, that area. So, and I don't mean to offend all you honest people out there to live in South Florida, I lived there and I experienced it.
Yeah.
So if there's a way for them to gouge people
Yeah, they will.
with any kind of popular event, they're going to do so. So
that is crazy to me. And I also believe, Ross, I think there will be more Indiana fans there than Miami.
Will be. There will be. Look at, since they left the old Orange Bowl, it's not like Miami gets huge crowds where they play now in the Miami Dolphin Stadium. Yeah. It's not like it used to be. You remember the old days, Sam, when those teams in the 80s played in the Orange Bowl? It was like the most intimidating environment on top of having to face some of the most intimidating teams in college football. It's not like that anymore.
No.
So like I alluded to, they're going to allot tickets to each side. Those tickets have been sold ahead of time. And when it comes to third-party markets, ticket brokers, whatever you want to call it, I think the majority of tickets being sold right now on that market are coming from Indiana.
Yeah, I believe so too. I think it is going to be a great sight. Indiana folks are over the moon right now, and of course there are some hardcore Miami fans. Not many, but there's still some out there, and they're trying to get behind their guy Cristobal. They want to win the title down there, and I think it's going to be a fantastic setting. I will be tuned in. I'll be watching. I know you will be as well. And it should be a hell of a football game, at least for a little while.
Yeah, it's if Miami could stay in this game, and I'm going to have a 4% best bet on this game coming up at wagertalk.com. But having said that, it's going to be on the site. Having said that, I've gone back and forth here a little bit, and I came to the decision earlier today, but without showing my cards, I mean, Miami could pull the outright upset as long as they don't have to be one-dimensional. And that's going to be an issue because Indiana gives up just 75 yards per game on the ground. And God forbid, for Miami's sake, if Indiana gets up a couple touchdowns, because Carson Beck has performed good down the stretch, right? Mm-hmm. Doesn't have gaudy numbers, Sam, in the playoffs, but he's managed games well, and he hasn't turned the ball over. So Miami's not beating himself. Indiana, on the other hand, if they get on top of you and they get up a couple touchdowns, they're hell to play against, because it just seems like it snowballs on the opponent when that happens. So
they feed off the juice too. They just get it going. They play out of their minds sometimes. Ross Benjamin, you can check him out, the Weekend Warrior package as well. And don't forget, you want to get right to Ross, get those great premium picks. WT.buzz/RB. 2 NFL Saturday, 2 NFL Sunday, the big college football game on Monday. Ross the Boss, always a pleasure. Stay warm in Western New York, and we will chat again next week. Have a great weekend, bud.
Thanks for having me, Sam. Let's go Buffalo.
Let's go Buffalo. There you go. Ross Benjamin from wagertalk.com.